Greetings and welcome to another episode of Sonic Odyssey, the music video channel dedicated to bringing you the last 5 decades or so of music in review and discussion format. Let's get the housekeeping out of the way. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the video channel so you can stay up to date with all things Sonic Odyssey. And also please consider giving my Patreon page a look. There's a link in the show description below. Today we're going to be looking at and listening to an album by the band Emerson, Lake and Palmer. They were an English supergroup that formed in 1970 and in London, England. And the lineup consisted of Keith Emerson on keyboards, Greg Lake on guitar, bass, vocals, and some percussion, as well as doing most of the production, and Carl Palmer on drums and percussion. Today we're going to look at their 4th studio album, which was entitled Brain Salad Surgery, which oddly enough is a euphemism for fellatio. The album is a mixture of classical elements with progressive rock, and jazz. It's got a wide range of musical styles that influence the different songs on the album, but the album is predominantly overshadowed by the closing 3 tracks, originally 4 tracks on the album when it was split up to the A side and B side, called Carn Evil Number 9. The sound of ELP is a kind of trademark sound for the band. It's progressive rock mixed with classical and jazz and pop music elements. The pop elements can be clearly heard on the first track we're going to sample, and that would be the Lake-composed song, the 3rd track on the album, which is entitled Still You Turn Me On. So let's sample that track now. Still, you turn me on. Wanna be the pillow where I lay my head. Do you wanna be the feathers lying in my bed? Do you wanna be a color cover magazine? Create a scene. Every day a little sadder, a little madder. Someone get me a ladder. Wanna be the singer? Blending acoustic guitar with electric guitar, sounding kind of mournful and soulful, and the bass soft in the background, make for a funky chorus. The verses are much more sedate and more acoustic oriented. Brain Salad Surgery was not without its controversy. Apparently England, the country in which they were formed and released the album initially, didn't like their first single from the album, Jerusalem. The powers that be felt that it was not a good presentation of what is sort of a hymn-like song, and so in very conservative England in the 1970s, this shouldn't be a surprise. And Brain Salad Surgery was released in 1973. So the song Jerusalem, which was based off the poem by William Blake, and with the music being arranged by ELP from the work of a gentleman by the name of Hubert Parry, is a really beautiful song, but apparently the British censorship board wouldn't allow it to be played on the airwaves in England, even though it is, as I say now, considered a very fitting tribute song to the work it's based on. But the main long-standing draw of Brain Salad Surgery is the 30-minute long epic song called Carn Evil 9, a song in three parts. Originally, when it was released on an album, the first part had to be separated, with one part of it being on side A of the album and the second part of it being on side B of the album. But it's three parts that they called impressions. So it's Carn Evil 9, first impression, Carn Evil 9, second impression, and Carn Evil 9, third impression. The entirety of the piece is a fusion of classical, prog rock, and jazz. The music was written entirely by Emerson, and the lyrics were written predominantly by Lake. The theme of the song is a battle between natural and artificial intelligence, with the end result being maybe that mankind is taken over by the computers that they have created. Carn Evil 9 is sort of a play on words, as well as the first two words sound like carnival. And the carnival motif was part of the second part, the beginning of side B of the first impression of Carn Evil 9, first impression. So let's give a brief listen to that now.
Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends. We're so glad you could attend. Come inside, come inside. There behind the glass stands a real blade of grass. Be careful as you pass. Move along, move along. Come inside, the show's about to start. Guaranteed to blow your head apart. Rest assured, you'll get your money's worth. With this show, it happened all right. You gotta see the show. It's a dynamo. You gotta see the show. It's rock and roll. Oh, right before your eyes, people laughed up from the skies, and he laughs until he cries, and he dies, and he dies. Come inside, the show's about to start.
Carn Evil 9, first impression, is a more traditional prog rock piece in the first two parts, on side A and side B. The second impression begins with a very jazzy-oriented drum and piano bass sound going through it, real typical jazz sound, before going into a more futuristic fusion and almost Latinate kind of motif. And the third impression returns to a much more rock-oriented, progressive rock-oriented sound scheme. In the sum, Carn Evil 9 is a brilliant piece of music lasting about 30 minutes long, and it's a fantastic story as well. Emerson, Lake and Palmer probably made their best album in Brain Salad Surgery. It certainly has achieved tremendous status in the prog rock community in the decades since its release, and it's been reissued a number of times with multiple deluxe editions and extras and all sorts of special packaging. Its sonic soundscape is a panoramic blend of more mellow rock and then funky rock, and there's even a piece on it which is based off a piano concerto from one of the members' friends and acquaintances. It is a great example of progressive rock. It has much more leaning toward the rock and pop categories, but the progressive elements of it can't be denied, and the musicianship displayed is fantastic. It was also the first album to introduce the Moog synthesizer to recording. It was the first use of the actual Moog synthesizer in modern music. So I think Brain Salad Surgery is a fantastic listen, and I would give it probably 4 out of 5 stars. It has the 4th track on the album, which is kind of a goofy song, a little bit of a silly jokester piece, which is, it feels a little out of place, but then again, they're not alone in this sort of contribution to a musical output. You know, Todd Rundgren famously on his solo albums very often includes a comedic or comical sort of number amidst the more serious music. So it's not out of place. And Queen as well is another band that very often would include a comical or humorous track amidst their more serious musical endeavors. So Emerson, Lake and Palmer's Brain Salad Surgery, their 4th album in their catalog, 1973, is worth listening to. It's a pretty darn good ride, and I would recommend it highly. So thank you very much for your time today, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and consider visiting my Patreon page, where you can donate anything from a couple of dollars a month up. You can have your name listed at the end credits of each video, and you can even go so far as to select an album for me to review. I look forward to your comments below in the comment section of the video. Please do feel free to share your thoughts, and I will respond to them. With that being said, I wish you a great day. Thank you very much. Peace and goodbye.